Did you know that your car battery could fail years earlier than it needs to, costing you hundreds, even thousands, in replacement costs? Most drivers believe that once a battery reaches 3 to 5 years, it's bound to fail. You've been told this by mechanics, by dealerships, by that sticker they slap on your new battery, but here's what they're not telling you. Your battery could last 7 years or longer, maybe even outlive your car. The truth is, dealerships make a fortune off frequent battery replacements. They want you coming back every 3 years like clockwork, shelling out $200 or more for a replacement that might not even be necessary yet. Stick around, because I'm going to reveal 5 secrets the industry doesn't want you to know. These hidden factors are killing your battery faster than necessary. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, because you're about to learn how to save serious money and keep your car running longer than the manufacturer ever intended. Secret number 1. Your daily commute is destroying your battery. Most people think that driving to work and back every day keeps their battery charged and healthy. You're using your car, the alternator's spinning, so the battery must be getting what it needs, right? Wrong. Here's the thing. Short trips are actually one of the worst things you can do to your car battery, and nobody's telling you this. When you start your car, the battery dumps significant power to crank the engine. The alternator then needs time to recharge what was used. On a short trip, say 10 to 15 minutes, the alternator doesn't get nearly enough time to fully replenish that charge. What happens over weeks and months? Your battery stays partially discharged, and this leads to sulfation, when lead sulfate crystals build up on the battery plates. Once that happens, it permanently reduces your battery's capacity. Studies from Battery University show that batteries kept in a partial state of charge develop this sulfation, which irreversibly damages the internal structure. Jalopnik reports that vehicles driven mostly on short trips can lose up to 30% of battery life in just 2 years. 30%. One subscriber told me he was replacing his battery every 2.5 years because he only drove to the train station and back, 8 minutes each way. Once he changed his routine, his battery lasted over 6 years. Instead, you should aim for longer drives of at least 20 to 30 minutes several times a week. This gives the alternator enough time to fully recharge the battery and reverse any minor sulfation. If your lifestyle doesn't allow for longer drives, consider using a trickle charger or battery maintainer when the car sits idle. Hook it up in your garage and it'll keep your battery at optimal charge levels. This routine alone can extend your battery's lifespan by 20 to 30%. You'll avoid those premature failures that catch you off guard on a cold morning and save yourself the $200 to $300 that dealerships charge for a replacement. And if that shocked you, wait until you hear what happens when you leave your car sitting for extended periods. Secret number 2. Letting your car sit is a silent battery killer. Your owner's manual probably says something vague like, ensure the battery is maintained during periods of non-use, but it doesn't tell you exactly how or why it matters so much. Here's what's really going on. Car batteries self-discharge even when the vehicle isn't running. Modern cars have computers, alarms, clocks, and other systems drawing tiny amounts of power constantly. Over days and weeks, this drains the battery, and once it drops too low, sulfation sets in and the damage begins. The dirty secret is that leaving your car unused for even a week or two without a maintainer starts the degradation process. Dealerships know this, but they're not going to tell you to buy a $30 trickle charger when they can sell you a new battery in a few years instead. Batteries that sit discharged develop sulfation on the plates, and the internal components degrade much faster than they would with regular use. According to RAC, using a battery maintainer when your vehicle sits idle prevents self-discharge and sulfation. AA conducted studies showing that battery maintainers can extend battery life by 40 to 50% or more. Think about people who store classic cars or RVs. The ones who use maintainers get a decade or more out of their batteries. The ones who don't, they're buying new batteries every couple of years. The solution is investing in a smart charger or float charger. These devices automatically adjust the charge to keep the battery at optimal levels without overcharging. If your car will be stored for an extended time, like during winter months or while you're traveling, hook it up to a maintainer. It plugs into a regular outlet, connects to your battery, and does all the work for you. You'll extend your battery's life by years. That $50 investment in a quality maintainer can save you hundreds in replacement costs and prevent the frustration of a dead battery when you need your car most. But if that information is valuable to you, the next secret gets even more practical. If you're finding this information valuable, hit that like button to help other car owners discover these truths. Secret number 3. That crusty buildup is costing you big money. Most drivers never think about their battery terminals until they see that white or blue-green crusty buildup that looks like something from a science experiment. You might think it's cosmetic, something you can ignore as long as the car starts. But here's the kicker. That corrosion is costing you battery life and performance every single day, and it's one of the easiest problems to fix. Corroded terminals create electrical resistance. That means less power flowing from the battery to start your car, and less power flowing back from the alternator to charge it. Your battery works harder to provide the same amount of power, which accelerates its degradation. In severe cases, corrosion can prevent your car from starting altogether, even if the battery itself is perfectly fine. According to Batteries Plus, corrosion can reduce a battery's efficiency by 15 to 20% over time. That's a massive performance hit for something so preventable. They also note that corroded terminals are one of the leading causes of hard starts and no-start conditions, accounting for a significant percentage of roadside assistance calls that could have been avoided with basic maintenance. Instead, you should clean the terminals every 6 months with a baking soda and water solution. Mix about a tablespoon of baking soda with a cup of water, disconnect the battery cables starting with the negative terminal, and scrub the terminals and cable ends with an old toothbrush or wire brush. You'll see the corrosion fizz and dissolve. Rinse everything with clean water, dry it thoroughly, and reconnect the cables. After cleaning, apply a thin layer of petroleum jelly or dielectric grease to prevent corrosion from forming again. This routine takes 10 minutes twice a year and costs practically nothing. You'll improve your battery's charging efficiency, extend its lifespan, and prevent those frustrating no-start situations. Bottom line, this is one of the highest return maintenance tasks you can do. And if you think corrosion is bad, wait until you hear what deep discharges do to your battery's internal structure. Secret number 4. That one time you left your lights on did permanent damage. Here's something the battery manufacturers don't advertise. Car batteries are not designed to be deeply discharged. They're designed for starting engines with short, powerful bursts. Not for running your electronics with the engine off until the battery is completely drained. But how many times have you left your headlights on, or sat in your car listening to music with the engine off, or used accessories that slowly drained the battery over days? Every time you deeply discharge a car battery, you're causing damage to the internal lead plates. When voltage drops below 12 volts, sulfation accelerates dramatically. If the battery sits dead for an extended period, that sulfation becomes permanent, and the battery loses capacity it will never recover. What dealerships won't tell you is that a single deep discharge can reduce your battery's total lifespan by months. Multiple deep discharges, you might cut the battery's life in half. Battery University explains that lead-acid batteries used in cars are optimized for starting, lighting, and ignition. They're not deep-cycle batteries. When discharged below 12 volts, especially below 11.8 volts, the risk of permanent damage increases exponentially. They've documented cases where batteries discharged below 10 volts and left in that state for even 24 hours suffered irreversible capacity loss of 20 to 30%. The solution is to avoid draining your battery completely whenever possible. If you accidentally leave something on and the battery dies, recharge it immediately. Don't let it sit dead for days or weeks. If you're leaving the car unused for a long period, use a battery maintainer or, at minimum, disconnect the negative terminal to prevent parasitic drain. Some newer cars have high parasitic draws that can drain a battery in as little as 2 weeks. This awareness alone can add 1 to 2 years to your battery's life. You'll avoid that sudden failure that always seems to happen at the worst possible time and get the full lifespan the battery was designed to deliver. You won't believe what secret number 5 reveals about where you park your car. Secret number 5. Where you park matters more than you think. Your owner's manual might mention temperature effects in passing, but it doesn't tell you the full story about how brutal temperature extremes are on your battery. Most people worry about cold weather killing batteries, and that's legitimate, but here's what they're not telling you. Heat is actually far more destructive to battery life than cold. And if you live in a warm climate and park in the sun every day, you're probably killing your battery 2 to 3 times faster than necessary. Heat accelerates the chemical reactions inside the battery, which also means it accelerates degradation. The electrolyte evaporates faster, the plates corrode faster, and the internal components break down faster. In extreme heat, batteries literally cook themselves to death. Cold weather reduces the battery's capacity temporarily and makes the engine harder to crank, but cold doesn't usually cause permanent damage the way heat does. According to Battery University, high temperatures reduce battery life by 50% for every 10 degrees Celsius increase above 20 degrees Celsius. So if you're in Phoenix or Las Vegas, where summer temperatures regularly hit over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, your battery is degrading at an accelerated rate. Batteries Plus confirms that heat exposure is why batteries fail prematurely in southern states, often within 2 to 3 years instead of the 5 to 7 years they might last in cooler regions. Instead, you should try to park in a shaded area or garage whenever possible to avoid heat buildup under the hood. Even a carport or covered parking can make a substantial difference by keeping direct sunlight off the vehicle. In colder climates, consider using a battery insulation kit or battery blanket that helps maintain optimal operating temperature. Always ensure that your battery is properly secured in its tray, because vibration combined with temperature stress accelerates failure even faster. You'll extend your battery's life by 3 to 5 years in hot climates just by parking smart. That's the difference between replacing your battery every 2 to 3 years versus every 6 to 8 years. You'll save hundreds of dollars and avoid the inconvenience of premature failures. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more money-saving automotive insights. By following these 5 strategies, you can double your battery's lifespan and avoid unnecessary replacement costs. Don't fall for the myths the dealerships tell you. Your car's battery can last much longer with a little care. They want you back every 3 years like clockwork, but you don't have to play that game. Hit like if you found this breakdown useful and subscribe to the channel now. I'll continue to guide you through the real facts of car maintenance, saving you thousands. Next time, we'll dive into the maintenance mistakes that are ruining your car's performance without you even knowing it. Stay tuned and remember, a little care today saves you a lot tomorrow.